Hey everyone, welcome to Born to Be Brave TV. My name is Matt, and we are streaming live here on Facebook and YouTube every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tonight, we are going to be joined by a few friends of ours that we made while we were on the road. I say we were on the road. Born to Be Brave Tour is on the road 2 seasons out of the year. We travel across the country, bringing our style of connecting event to fathers and sons. And one of the places that we stopped in the fall of 2019, I believe it was a place called San Angelo, Texas. And we met a couple gentlemen there. We were treated very well by church family there. Quinn Bannister and Darren Buell are joining us this evening, all the way from West Texas. Guys, how are you tonight?
Doing good. Good to see you folks.
Real good.
Always great to see you guys. Now, I will say that we are treated really well everywhere we go, honestly. And we're so blessed by all the churches that we get to, but they all treat us a little bit differently. They all treat us sort of their own local flair. And, your local flair was barbecue and brisket, and we're going to show a little bit about that tonight. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm telling you, those of you that are tuning in and watching tonight, you're going to love it. They're going to give us Brisket 101. But before we get to that, we're actually going to go out and see Alex at the Wheel of Destruction, and he is going to do a little bit of a game. We're going to play a little bit of a game right now with Alex. So, Alex, go ahead and...
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here in the warehouse. Boom, boom. All right, we're going to play a little bit of Pictionary. And I think if you guys aren't familiar with Pictionary, here's how it works. I'm going to draw something on this board, and the first person to guess what it is wins a free wristband. I will personally send you a wristband if you guess what I'm drawing. So Noah's going to bring that camera right over here, and we're going to play. Okay, first one. Here we go. We good? We're ready? Okay, here we go. Oh, goodness. I'm running out of space. A dog? No, that's not a dog. Although I take no offense to that because I do see how it has a close resemblance to a dog. Yes, Bruce got it right first with a cow. Bruce, great job. Bruce, I'm going to send you a wristband. Thank you. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. Here we go. All right, drawing number 2. Here we go. All right, are we getting any guesses yet? Let's see. Oh, Bryce? Yo, Bryce. Dude, you got it, man. Good job. It's the Wheel of Destruction. Wait, I mean, look at that. Look at the resemblance. I mean, wow. It almost looks like the wheel was based off of this drawing. Okay. Dude, Bryce, I'm going to send you a wristband, man. Nice job. All right. Last one for the night. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, geez. Oh gosh. Oh no. Yo, Bruce! Bruce got it. S'mores. Dude. A fire was very close, but I was just going for the marshmallow there. S'mores. All right, that was it. Bruce, I'm going to send you a wristband as well. Great job, everybody. Hey, that was fun. Just a little Pictionary for you. All right, I have a question, though, before we go back to match. How many pounds of beef do you guys think was consumed in the United States in 2019? Put your guess in the comments.
All right. How much beef do you think was consumed in the U.S.? I don't know. I'll give you a little bit of a second or two more to think about that. Put it in the chat. And also, I'd like to say thanks to Alex for debuting his drawing skills for us here on the show. That went well. So sweet. Nice job. All right. We're ready for the answer. Thanks to Alex for this chat question. In the year 2019, 27 billion pounds of beef. 27 billion pounds of beef was consumed in the United States. That's more than 82 pounds per person. 82 pounds per person. But I have to tell you this, the guys in San Angelo are probably bringing that average up. So with that, I'd like to bring Darren and Quinn back. We're going to talk about brisket.
Hello.
Guys, welcome back.
Good to be back.
Again, thanks so much for being here. So you guys take your meat and your brisket and your barbecue and your steak pretty seriously down there, don't you?
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it something that it's just a cultural thing, right? I mean, you're born and bred to love beef and prepare beef, and sort of a rite of passage for men as they are coming up through that they get to do different processes along the way. Is that the case?
Yeah, for sure. And we've also got a soft spot for pork as well, so I don't want to leave that out. But it's something we grew up doing in our backyards and spending time around the barbecue pit and hanging out, socializing, and cooking good food.
Now, I love beef, I love steak, and I like to try and dabble in smoking a little bit. But I think one of the things I was most impressed with when I talked to you guys was the equipment that you have. You don't mess around down there. You've got something pretty significant to get the job done. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I don't think most people realize the scale you can get to when it comes to. I didn't realize how big you could go with this. So
Sure.
Talk a little bit about what you actually use to smoke.
Well, go ahead, Quinn.
Yeah, we have our basic 3 to 4 sizes. We have the dinky pit, and we don't like to cook on those because you can't invite your neighbors and friends over for that. And then we have a small pit, which you can probably get 8 or 10 briskets on that. Then we have a medium size, like the one that's shown in the video. And that one you can get about 700 or 800 pounds of meat on that thing, and it works really well. Or you can do the big pit, and we have done fundraisers and things for the church here with the big pit. And we call it actually the blessed pit, right, Darren? Because we just utilize that for cooking here for the church and the kids and all that. And we've cooked 5,000 pounds of meat on that in a weekend. And the pit actually weighs 10,300 pounds, 28-foot gooseneck. We pull it with an F-250 Texas truck.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger. Everything's bigger. That is incredible. So 10,000 pound trailer to smoke brisket. That is awesome. Well, I think we're going to get to see you guys do a little something with brisket. I think you call it brisket 101.
Yeah.
So we're going to watch Quinn and Darren in action.
Here we are cooking again, Darren.
Cooking again. All right, my name's Darren. This is Quinn.
Hey,
We are in
Quinn.
West Texas,
Hallelujah.
where barbecue is made, where barbecue comes from.
That's it.
Today we're going to show you guys how to cook a brisket.
Amen.
This is brisket 101, so you can get super fancy with it, but we're going to teach you guys that are rookies or novices how to do it and how to do it well. And what do we start with first?
Yeah, you want to start with the lower grade first, the select?
We'll show you a lower grade brisket.
Okay, here it is.
So basically, when you go to the grocery store, you've got 3 grades of meat. You've got select, you've got choice, and you got prime. We've got select and choice today to show you guys. So this is select brisket. This is the not as good brisket, but it's actually, I think, for a select, it's pretty good.
It looks good.
So when you're picking out a brisket, and you pick it up out of the cool box at the grocery store, what you want to do is make sure it has a little bit of a flop to it.
A little bit of give.
A little bit of give. If it's sticking straight out like a board, when your hand's in the middle, it means it's been frozen, it's not fresh. You also want to look at the end right here. This is called the flat section of the brisket. This is called the point. You want to make sure the flat isn't too terribly thin. This one's kind of thin, it's not terrible.
It's probably average.
Make sure that's not like paper thin down there. So, a little life hack for you.
Good, and are you forgetting one thing on there? When you go and select that, you gotta get it lined out like this a little bit. And you know, you gotta give it the,
I forgot the most important part.
you gotta give it to,
You gotta let it know that you're the boss.
yeah.
All right?
Now it's better.
Now the brisket's ready to get prepped. All right, here we go. You want to get rid of the hard fat, keep the soft fat. All right, so right here, you can see this is harder than this is, so we're going to start trimming this off a little bit. So on a brisket, there's also a pocket. It's pretty deep. You just want to get that whole thing just about out of there for the most part.
Yeah, look at that.
We want to season this bad boy?
Let's season that thing. Up. Oh, it's going. Smoke coming out of that thing. So show them this operation on this little. Darn, look at that thing.
Okay, here we go. So, we've got the flat right here, we've got the point right here. And like I said, the cutting against the grain, we're going to be cutting this way all the way across because the grain's coming like that. So we're going to start slicing the burnt end off and just work our way this way. But you think you got to cut it in half first, cut the point off with the flat.
I wouldn't, I just shave a little bit.
So the pink around the edge, that's called the smoke ring, and it's got a pretty good smoke ring. So we're gonna taste these burnt ends.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is,
It's kind of messing me up a little bit. Yeah.
all right, man. Cheers.
Is your mouth watering a little bit?
Yeah, it's been watering all day.
Cheerios. Here we go. Okay.
Sorry guys, it did not turn out well at all. So, that one burnt end, that's what people love. So when I slice, probably about a quarter
About
inch
a quarter of an inch. It's real good.
thickness, so about yay thick. So,
Excuse me a second, there's something I need to take care of.
Oh.
over here. That's a perfect burn in. I don't know if you can see that all that good. See that smoke ring on there, and then there's about a quarter inch of fat, and that renders right in, and that fat tastes just like butter right there. So that's really incredible.
where you're slicing brisket, you want to use a thin blade if you have one. It just slices nicer, As you see, that is really warm. Whew. So anyway, I'm gonna keep slicing. So that's what cutting a good grain should look like.
Yeah.
All right. So if it was with the grain, you just see lines, but you want to see like little circles, like you're cutting against those lines. So
Yeah.
it's a good cut.
Beautiful thing.
Yep.
Good job, buddy. Crushed it.
Nailed it.
I like it.
Cut.
Yep. That's a wrap.
Well, you certainly don't want to watch that video on an empty stomach.
No,
was
no, you don't.
That is true.
Incredible. Wow. It just looks like so much fun. It really does. It looks like you guys had a great time doing that. Now, Darren, your shirt.
Yes.
Do you wear that every time you smoke a brisket?
Yeah.
And now, if we can imagine the picture of that cow on the shirt there, where does the brisket come from?
So if you're picturing that diagram of the cow, it's right in front of the front legs, under the neck, in front of the front legs. That's where the brisket comes from.
All right. And you guys talked about calling your biggest trailer, you call it the blessing pit. Is that right?
The blessed pit.
The
Blessed
blessed
pit.
pit.
Yeah.
That's pit. Well, that was huge. And when you put those two briskets in for that video, clearly it could have held a lot more. So if you load that thing up and cook that, fill that thing up, what do you do with all that meat? Are there certain things that your church does with?
Yeah, so at least once or twice a year, we're doing fundraisers off of the pit. We do one specifically for the youth in the church.
Mhm.
They sell the meat to raise money for camp, and we cook how many pounds of meat?
Usually 4,000 to 5,000 pounds.
Yeah. And this right here, the picture you're seeing, that is feeding folks during COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
People are scared to get out and not able to go to the grocery store. We're providing meals, and we fed 4,200 people.
4,200 altogether.
4,200
Yeah.
meals set out over a few weekends, and using the pit for that. So it was really, really cool to see the blessings we were able to pass on. So
That's great. So really, I mean, brisket and barbecue is really kind of how you guys do church down there too. I mean, you really just do life by beef and pork. I love it. And
Yeah.
we had such a great time. You fed us so well while we were there. That was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and that was a fun meal. We appreciate when somebody comes in and really enjoys the food. That makes us happy around here. So that's good.
That's great. So how long have you guys been smoking? Is this something that you've learned as kids? Is it something that you have in the family, Quinn? I think you had mentioned before that it's a family tradition for you.
Yeah, it's funny. I was on the way in today. I was driving the old truck, and I was thinking, how many generations have we been through on this cooking process? And I've kind of counted up to 6 generations that I can think of, going from great grandparents all the way down to my grandchildren now. And then, all the folks that we see here at the church with our cooking, we get to share that with them. It really creates some great fellowship and times where we can hang out together. And then the great thing about it, you can feed some folks in the community, serve the community, and you can raise some money to send kids to camp or go to Mozambique or somewhere on mission in Africa or something like that. So it's really a big blessing.
That is great. That's great. Now, Darren, you had mentioned something at one point about your son, and he's not quite on board with the cooking yet, right?
we didn't have to bring that up, but yeah, he's not quite a meat eater yet.
Okay.
My 4-year-old son, he turns his nose up at beef, but we're working on him.
We'll work on
praying for him. If it doesn't work out, I don't know. He may be living with grandparents. We'll see what happens. But my daughter can chow down the beef.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've got one kid that enjoys it.
So how old do you have to be? How long do you have to do it until you're allowed to do the slap? And what is the slap?
We encourage the slap from the get-go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rite of passage. That's you don't get to participate unless you do it. So you have a piece of packaged meat, and that's just the first thing you do before you get it out of the package.
And it's fun. We actually get videos from the kids showing the grandkids. They put a brisket up on the table and the kids line up and they'll go by and they'll get that thing going. So it's kind of a neat thing.
Now my son will do that.
Yeah,
He'll do that
yeah,
part. He
he's
just won't eat
highly
it.
trained.
All right.
Now, when you're at the meat counter,
Oh, we had a great question from someone that's viewer. They want to know
That is a great
what
question.
temperature was the smoker set to? Yeah.
Ideally 225.
Okay.
Anywhere from 225 to 250, but closer to 225 is ideal for brisket. And we do it low and slow.
low and slow, baby.
Oh,
Just breaks down slower. It just does a lot better.
Doesn't dry it out. It keeps that juice in there, makes it tender.
Chad says life by beef. That's great. That sounds like that's
I like
what you
that.
got down there. Cool. That is really, really neat. So tell me a little bit about a little more about the feeding and the service that you do. I remember you said something about your men will actually get together and they'll do this, and then you have an opportunity to serve people in your own church. Is it the you serve the women, you serve the ladies when they're having their women's get-togethers?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have got to do that. It's more of a standard men's thing, but sometimes we get to serve the women. So when we do burgers or chicken or something like that, we'll get to serve both. And it's kind of neat. The ladies do so much around the church and everything, and it's really a blessing for us to be able to serve them sometimes. And that'll be maybe 150 on the guys and a couple hundred for the ladies. So that'll be a big meal too that we get to pull together and serve our men and serve our women. The fun thing about that's the men get to hang out together and do that. And there'll be pits showing up here, and people bring their own expertise, and we'll share that. Sometimes a jalapeno popper will jump out of the crowd when we're barbecuing too. That's a special time right there.
That's great. Great. Well, I know you've served a lot of meals, 4,200 of them, I think I was told, for during this COVID crisis that we're facing. And Darren, why don't you talk some, if you would, and at this point we'll transition into our sort of spiritual takeaway here, if you would. Talk about, how you guys, what you experienced when you did that service, and then just kind of go ahead and talk to us about why that service is so important.
Well, I think it's important. I didn't get to participate in that as I had a baby through this crazy time.
You did have a baby.
Quinn was in on that particular cook. But when we do stuff like that, you see how you get to bless families and people and serving them and the joy it brings. And through that, you get to share the message of Jesus. And I think it starts with us as men, that we need to set the standard for serving. That as the leaders of our houses, our families, that we need to be the ones that set that example and follow the example given to us. And that example, obviously, is Jesus. Mm-hmm. And so Jesus says in his word, I did not come to be served, but to serve. And this is the guy that in John chapter 1 says created everything in the world. Jesus created. So he deserved to be here on the throne, deserved to be served, but he came to serve. And we need to follow that example. And so us as men, it starts there. And I think, when you think about what made Jesus serve, it was compassion for people. Mm-hmm. When you look at Matthew chapter 14 and Matthew chapter 15, when Jesus feeds 5,000, one of our favorite stories. Yeah. When he feeds the 5,000, then Matthew chapter 15, he feeds the 4,000. Each of those stories, before he does those acts, the Bible says he saw the people and had compassion on them. Yeah. And so his driving force behind serving was having compassion for people. And I think that needs to be the same for us, and especially as dads and to our sons, because they're going to be the next generation that leads their family. So we need to set that example given to us by Jesus. And
that's one of the things we talk about a lot too, is when we're cooking, we always worry and I think, are we going to run out of food? And we always just kind of grin and say, well, let's just pray breads and fishes, and it always seems to work out. So.
Are you going to bring me back in, Jared? There we go. I am back. So for those of you that have been watching the show from the beginning, we've talked about our technology and how we're switching gears a little bit and doing things a little bit differently. Tonight we're coming to you with a different program for the first time. So A few little hiccups here and there are to be expected, and we appreciate you kind of hanging in there and standing by with us. Darren and Quinn, thank you so much for being here with us, for sharing that message. I love the idea of service, and right now things are so upside down, and front is back and back is front, and I think we're all very confused about what's the right thing to do. And as you know from Born to Be Brave, one of our slogans is do the next right thing. And we found very recently that for us, the next right thing is just find some way to. So, dads and sons, and you're watching tonight, I encourage you to have a conversation and ask, what are the unique talents like San Angelo has their barbecue and their brisket that they use to serve their community and to serve one another? What are your strengths? What are your talents? How did God uniquely prepare you and uniquely equip you to serve? Talk about that with your son this week, and make it a point to find an opportunity to use those talents and skills, put them to use for others. So as you think about that, I think now you'll probably recognize that we're missing something so far this evening, and it's about time we get to it. Fast transitions. Back out to the wheel of destruction with Alex, and he's going to...
All right. Hey, what's up, guys? We are back here in the warehouse. Darren, Quinn, thank you guys for just letting us into such a special part of your guys' life and your culture. So, hey, we are, back here with the wheel, and we're going to smash a Born to Be Brave classic tonight. And that is a pink girls' playhouse. It is just, it's just something we at Born to Be Brave, we have smashed for years, really. And, now the wheel's a little bit heavier. We're just gonna see what it does. All right, we're ready. Fire it up.
Wheel of destruction activated. Begin drop sequence. Check. Beast mode protocol engaged. Check. Secure perimeter. Check. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh. Oh man. Oh, okay. Well, we appear to have broken the safety rope. Yeah, this happens every so often. It's really just so that the wheel doesn't fall over like this, but the ropes kind of wear out after a while. All right. Well, you can probably drop another one, right? Okay. All right, guys, we got... That is true.
I guess we're done there. We got one more. That happens on occasion. You got to understand that wheel is very heavy. There's an awful lot of force when that thing comes back. So it comes down with a good bit of force. We're going to kick back to him here.
We got one more item here. And we're going to throw a real live replica of Alan's guitar on top of this little table. So, all right, we'll see how this goes. Wait, no, we got to move it up a little bit. Move forward a little bit. Here we go. There we go. All right. Okay. I think we're ready. Okay. Fire it up.
Wheel of destruction activated. Begin drop sequence. Check. Beast mode protocol engaged. Check. Secure perimeter. Check. 3, 2, 1.
That was sick. Hey, look at that. Well, it only got the plexi a little bit. And you know what? The one light was already broken from last week. So, all right, that's all from the warehouse, guys. Back to you, Matt.
All right. Well, always exciting. It's always exciting. The Wheel of Destruction, unpredictable, always exciting. So that is going to do it for us mostly for tonight. But I'd like to talk to you for a minute before we leave about something that's kind of happening now. The end of school is coming, and we're kind of getting into the summer groove. And it was a school year like no one's ever experienced before, an end of school like no one's ever experienced before. And we're about to go into a summer potentially like none of us have ever experienced before, and we're going to be missing out on some things. We talked about that in one of an episode or two ago with Evan Dixon, and he talked about disappointment and missing out on some of the things we expected to be able to do for this summer. Our ministry really felt called to kind of step in and do something about it. So we are pleased to announce we are going to be doing something called Camp Staycation. We are going to team up with our sister ministry, True Girl, and bring you 6 weeks of easy, fun activities that are going to bring the whole family together. This isn't just father, son, mother, daughter. This is the whole family. So something totally new for us, and we're really excited about it. Our first issue activity is going to come out next week. That's June 11th. We're going to release it. And it has something to do with tie-dye. Every camp needs a camp shirt, so we're going to kick it off with that. We'll follow it with another 5 weeks, and then the culmination of that whole program is a live event on July 24th. We're going to have a huge family staycation campfire to end it all off, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So tune in next week for some more information about that, how to register, or as we like to say, how to reserve your campsite. We'll hear more about that next week. And I also want to remind you that we're still collecting submissions for our paper airplane trick shot challenge. So if you're into folding paper airplanes, go ahead, get those folded. And you saw in the opening slide. Paper airplane trick shots. Got a couple submissions already. Keep them coming to tv@borntobebrave.com. And that's going to do it for us. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you again next week, 7:30 on Thursday. God bless. Thank you, Quinn. And thank you, Darren, for being here. Alex, good to see everything went well at the wheel. So tune back in next week. We'll see you all later. God bless.